You're all set.
You make me nervous.
Good evening and welcome to Virginia's Views and Vibes. I'm your host, Ginny Gardner. And we all know in this difficult time, getting at your finances, planning, and trying to navigate this market can be so difficult. The one place you never go is social media or Facebook or Instagram. You get yourself a great financial planner, and that's what we have here for you tonight. I welcome Paul Henry from Village Wealth Management, and it's a pleasure to have you. We've known each other professionally because I rely on you for a very long time, and I wanted my viewers to see you.
Okay.
So let's start with where you work, where you are now, and kind of what you do there a little bit.
Okay. So first of all, I want to give this to you as a appreciation from our team for this.
I'm holding this up because this is my favorite place. I trust no one else.
Right.
Village Wealth Management and Village Bank. So there we go.
So I'm a certified financial planner, and the firm I work with is Village Wealth Management, which is an arm of the Village Bank. So we are employees of the Village Bank, but we are representatives at LPL. LPL Financial is the broker-dealer, and the company is Village Wealth Management. So that's how we met each other.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right. Absolutely. Now, how did you get started in this?
So it was kind of a long process where I was post-college working a regular job, and my dad had gone to a weekly financial planning seminar series. And when he was done, he gave me this binder. He's like, I learned a lot of great information. I think it might be useful for you. He gave it to me. I was going through it, and it just clicked. I was like, wow, this is really interesting. And the wheels started turning about how this could become actually a career for me. Because I majored in physics in college. And the thing I learned real quickly was I did not want to be in a lab by myself for hours. So I distinctly remember after a lab session, walking through the quad in the middle of winter with my backpack and thinking, yeah, there's got to be something else where I can use my analytical skills, but also I'm a people person, so working with people, individuals, and it took me a little while to find it, but then I found this career, and it's been a perfect match.
It has. So how long have you been doing this now? That'll give away your age, but many years.
30.
30 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yep.
I love that whatever question I have, or my husband mostly, because you deal mostly with him, you can answer it. And when you can't, you do your homework. And again, that probably comes from your background, your physics background to some degree, because you're a problem solver.
Correct.
So when you decided you were going to change fields, what did you have to do to qualify to do this?
So there was, I went through a training program, and within that training program there was the requirement to get fully licensed as a stockbroker. So that's the Series 7 license. I got a insurance license as well. So it was a combination of like classroom training, studying for these exams, and once you passed through that, then you started the actual training program of being a financial advisor, learning products, role-playing meetings, all that type of stuff.
Has it changed much since you started? I mean, 30 years.
Yes and no. I mean, the concepts are the same. It's really about working with people, getting to know where they're at, what they're trying to accomplish, and figuring out what strategies help them get there. So in that vein, it's been the same. Obviously, there's a lot more information out there with the internet, and a lot more noise, so it's harder to decipher through that in this period of time.
So a financial advisor, you're sort of the doctor of finance. People
Correct.
see you when, unfortunately, sometimes when they're in trouble, and sometimes when they're just questions. So as a financial planner, step one, when someone comes in.
First thing I always ask is, what are your goals? and what are your concerns. So I want to get a sense of what are they thinking about their own future, but also what are their worries or pain points in terms of them actually accomplishing those goals.
When, for instance, fresh out of college and younger kids, young people, I guess what would you tell your younger self when you started working in the lab? What direction, what first steps should you take when you start to make money? Yes. What's the first thing you should do to sort of secure your future?
It's funny to say, but the first step is to take a first step. Do something, even if it's small. Start with a monthly investment program where you put aside whatever amount you can afford. Do it on a monthly basis, same day of the month. Don't think about it. Don't even look at it for 6 to 12 months. Then it becomes ingrained. It's automatic. And then that's the first step. And then from there, you can build on that. You can add more. You can go in a different direction, change your investment strategy, what have you. But getting that ball rolling is the key. It's like going to the gym. You got to get in the gym to do the work.
Gotta go.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, kind of wild, but you're a dad.
Yep.
So and I have 3 children. I think personally, it's very important to start kids very young by having them work for their allowance, and save for things. Do you see now a generation, I hate to ask you this, a generation of people that maybe didn't do that? And what are your thoughts on that? For young children, what's your thoughts on that?
Oh, definitely. I mean, it teaches them the value of the work that they do and the outlying benefit of that. One thing I've done with my kids, and this is just something I came up with, but they expressed interest in doing some investing because they know what I do, and I made a deal. I said, for every dollar you put in, I will match.
Oh, wow.
So we have an investment account where whatever money it's my son now, my daughters will be doing it. I will do an equal amount, and then that gives them the incentive to do more.
Now, how old are you?
Son is 20,
Yeah.
and my daughter is 17.
And they started doing that in their investing. Oh, I
Yep,
love that.
a little bit at a time.
So I do think, as I said, I think when you have children and it teaches you to be responsible, to save for something, and to have better spending habits, and
Exactly.
and know you have to save. So with that, the budget part, do you think it's difficult? I mean, like I said, I go back to the young people. Is it difficult for them to get on a budget, stick to a budget, and the importance of one?
Right. So budgeting is hard, and when I start with clients, we have a spreadsheet, and I give it to them. I'm like, fill this out, do the best you can, and what it does is it makes them realize that all the expenses that they don't account for. Right? You have usually I ask, like, what are your expenses? And they list their mortgage, their rent, like their bills, right? But they don't mention their spending money, their vacations, their travel, holidays, birthdays. So you need to account for that. And that's what's difficult, because you might be limited in the amount of income that you have, but you have these obligations, and you want to enjoy life, so you want to do things, but you have to take it all in, because if you start early outliving your budget, you're always going to do that. And then everything in finances compounds on itself. Good habits compound, bad habits compound. So you want to establish good habits first.
So when we were young, we always were taught to have a savings account. Do you still think that's a good idea, or where you know a lot, what would you recommend for still the old savings account?
Start there, right?
Really?
You want to have money that is there for your daily expenses, but also for emergencies or opportunities. So you want to build a healthy cash reserve. That's step one. Once you have that established, then you can move on to step 2 with more investment type products.
So for someone like, let's see, my grandson, where would you start a young person, like college-bound person, to start?
I would say maybe you could be their bank, right? So how about every month you give me X amount of dollars, and then you'll do something with it for them.
You recommend anything in particular, or
So
or is that birth? Am I thinking the one that where the parents or the grandparents start something at birth?
yeah,
Do you know anything about that?
well, those are custodial accounts.
Okay.
So the child is actually owns the asset and is the beneficiary. The parent is the giver, right? So they're controlling it until the child becomes of age, which is 21, and then they take full ownership of those assets.
I'm looking at again, curious about starting to invest. But do you have a lot of young people that come in that really want to begin? Are they working, or they must be?
Yeah, got to be working.
But they want to start investing. Is it? And it is different, I suppose, from younger people,
Right.
to people such as myself who have been working, and what you would recommend for us would be totally different than you would recommend for them. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Well, the key is starting early, so that there's a concept called the cost of waiting. And I've seen the examples where if someone is 20, 25, whatever it is, and they invest a set amount for 10 years, and then they stop, right? That money that they put aside for that period of time has the head start, and the growth on that will compound over time. So yeah, the person who started early versus the person who waited, right? And if they waited 10 years, they'd have to invest 25 years to get to where that person who started early was.
So start early.
Start early, because it's the power of compounding interest. Your money grows. So if you invest 1,000 and it grew to 2,000, now that 2,000 is going to grow to 4,000 in the same amount of time that the 1,000 grew to the 2,000, because it all compounds.
So there is an old saying that said, "When should you start saving?" Yesterday.
As soon as you can.
And
Yep.
that's it.
Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
No doubt.
And now this is another thing, and because social media is just so the young people are worse than me, and I'm bad.
Yeah.
Anyone on these social media can be consultants, and they say this is what you should do, this is what you shouldn't do.
Yep.
First, never listen to anybody on social media.
Yep.
See an expert. Is
Absolutely.
So then what would you recommend? Where would you recommend, they go talk to the parents first, come to you,
Yep.
all of the above? I mean, what are the steps you would say?
So someone who's looking to start, don't use social media. Ask anyone you know. Do you know someone in the field, in the business, someone that you trust? And then reach out to that person and set up an initial meeting. The benefit of working with an advisor is there's the financial planning, there's the investments, but the real key for me is I end up getting to know my client's financial situation better than they do. So we have a strategy in place, but then life happens, markets, right? So having someone that they can trust and work with, especially if you're doing it on a regular, consistent basis. If something changes on your end, and you say, "Hey, Paul, I need to paint the house or buy a car," whatever it might be, I already know their situation, so I can give them ongoing advice. Or if they've got an inheritance, well, what should I do with my inheritance? Well, here's where we're at. This is what we've worked towards. Now we can overlay this new inheritance onto your financial situation, which we already know. So it's not. I think someone without an advisor, anytime there's a big decision to make, they have to recreate the wheel. Whereas if the plan is in place, you're working, it's just layering on top and moving forward from there.
Absolutely. Kind of, I guess we can't predict the future, but to some degree, Social Security, they're not saying it's going to be there for a long time, and it's not much,
Right.
honestly.
Mm-hmm.
The people that think, "Oh, I'm going to live off my
Right.
social," good luck.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck.
Yep.
So instead of, I guess, would you be for kind of getting rid of Social Security, but having people have their own thing in place, or is that too in a way, for some people, it's not going to work.
Right.
It
I
wouldn't
don't
work,
think
so-
Social Security going away will help anybody, but you have to have your own plan in place. You cannot rely on Social Security for your financial future. So you have to start early, develop your strategy, and work on that over time. And again, it all will compound.
Yeah. All right, so I remember when we first went to you, and actually every once in a while we have to do this. We have to fill out that long form, and you're right, it says mortgage, if you have it, blah, 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 and that always changes. Go through some of the questions that are asked on that form. You know, aside, like you say.
You mean like the client profile form?
Yes, a profile.
Yeah. So it starts with, you know, where are things standing today? What are your assets? What do you have in checking and savings? What do you have in a mutual fund? What do you have in your 401k plan? What are your liabilities? Credit card debt, mortgages, right? Then once you have a general assessment of the assets and liabilities, then we get into what's your cash flow and how are you working with that on a monthly basis. Then from there, we see the groundwork that's already there. Then we get into, you know, your goals, your concerns, and then that helps us develop the strategy that will help you get to the goals you're trying to accomplish.
Okay. Now, what if someone walks in and they say, "I want to do this," but they're a hot mess. Their credit card,
Yep.
debt is through the roof.
Yep.
They can barely afford their mortgage. Things like that.
Yep.
Where do you start with them, or where do you send them, or do you
Right.
try and sit them down?
I sit them down. I'll do an assessment, but you have to deliver some hard realities where if you have debt that's increasing, you need to stop using your credit card, put it away, and then look at a type of loan consolidation, right? They have credit card plans where you can do a balance transfer where, yeah, you're going to pay, I don't know, 3 to 5% to do that, but then you have a interest-free, right, for 15 months or what have you. So to do that, but so the plan would be, if you do that, I'm not recommending that people do that, but if you do that,
yeah.
have it, make sure you're making sure that the debt is paid off by the term of that balance transfer, right? So if it's 15 months, figure out what do you need to do in the next 15 months to bring that to zero. That's the only way to get ahead. And it's hard. It's not easy.
It has to be. I mean,
Yeah.
do you sort of say, maybe time to move in with your parents?
So, yeah, I actually have recommended that one time.
Yeah.
Like, you know, or you know, work with your parents. Say, you know what, I'm in this position. Can you help me? But it's, you know, it's a personal thing. It's a tough thing to. I didn't recommend it. I said, here's an idea.
Right,
If someone is in dire straits,
Right,
it's kind
yeah.
of like, what other options do you have? You don't want to live in poverty or, you know,
Right.
for too long.
Yeah, right. No.
Yeah.
And again, the credit card, I feel like the credit card and maybe a car loan, although they'll come and get your car if you don't pay for it.
Right.
But the credit card is the worst thing, and the percent
Yep.
interest you have to pay
Right.
is unbelievable.
Right.
It's worse than the mafia.
Yeah.
I mean, it's bad.
Right. And well, that's why Trump wanted to bring it to
Yeah.
10%, right?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Did you see that happening? Did they do it?
No, they did not. No,
I-
that got.
It did.
Yeah,
put
did
down.
not.
I was gonna say I try and pay off my credit card every month, so I don't follow that so much.
Right. But that's the key, right? If you're going to use it, make sure you pay it off.
Pay it off.
People use it for the points and using that to fund their vacations. Perfect.
Yeah.
But besides that, use it, pay it off, because it'll. If you get in, again, bad habits compound. So if you get in the habit of, you know what, I'll pay a third of the debt, of the balance, or whatever, you're carrying that to the next month, and then that month
Yeah.
you'll do the same thing.
Yeah.
And then you'll do the same thing. So it continues.
Just something about credit cards. When I was first married, I could not get a credit card, and do you know why?
You have no credit history.
Nope. I was female, and in
Oh.
order for women to
Oh, that
get,
must have been a while ago.
Oh, okay, not that. Well, it was.
Sorry.
I'm giving you a gift back. No, women were not allowed, could not get a credit card
Wow.
unless their parents, their father,
Right.
or their husband
Co-signed.
signed for
Right,
it. And
right,
my
right,
first credit card, by the way, I really will age myself, Grover Kernan's in Waltham. So that's it. So credit that was the reason why.
Yeah.
So credit card, but I feel like credit cards have been like, oh, I have this, so I'll just buy it, and it can be very abused. It really can.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I'd like to think I taught most of my kids, all of my kids, well, maybe one, don't use your credit card.
Do not.
Do not use.
Yep.
With that, just as long as we're kind of talking about it, what do you think about Bitcoin?
I am not a fan. To me, it's just too much of an unknown.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like a maybe potentially I don't want to say the word fad, but unless I really understand something, I'm not going to recommend it. So I stick with the basics, and I find that using that strategy gets people to where they need to without taking the speculation of Bitcoin.
And then I'll ask you, because your favorite client, my husband said, ask him about gold and silver.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Same, it's kind of the
thing?
same. People don't realize that they sound great, but they're very volatile, right? It's like gold price moves up and down, silver up and down, so there's no guarantee there. So the point of it is to, people buy gold and silver to outpace inflation, which makes sense. So if you wanted to use it, small pieces, you're not going to put your whole portfolio in something like that because the risk is too high.
And I think you just hit it on the head, your whole portfolio. I feel like when we go to you, you take the worry away from me, especially with, like George, he'll say, let's get gold, let's get silver, let's do this. Then we talk to you, and you sort of talk them down and say, okay, well, you could do that. I like the way you do that, and I think that's so important.
Right.
Because when you act alone, you can really do dumb things.
Yes, right.
You can't sit there on the computer and switch everything out and then wonder what the heck you just did.
Exactly.
So I find, and we see you, I've made that clear. We go into your office, you pull out our, the spreadsheet and put it up on the wall and all of that, and I feel like, okay, you walk us through it. Then by the time we're done talking to you, I'm not worried anymore.
Right.
I'm not losing any sleep, and I think that's so important.
Yes. Yep.
We talked a little bit, and I think there was about 10 minutes left, but we talked a little bit, but I have questions from real people here. Some of them were about real estate, pros and cons, and real estate over finances or both, or what do you think?
So,
And again, nothing to hold you to it, but just
Right.
I want to invest in real estate. Why shouldn't I, kind of thing?
right. I feel like every type of investment has a place, right? Real estate has a place, stocks have a place, bonds have a place. Every investment has pros and cons. There's no one perfect investment. So I always talk about dovetailing. So you take the strengths and weaknesses of one strategy, strengths and weaknesses of another, and you put them together, and then you have a much stronger overall strategy that can withstand the ups and downs, because if something adversely affects the real estate, maybe the other side of the portfolio is going to help you out, and then vice versa. So always dovetail, always combine, and that's called diversification.
And pros and cons, such as if you're getting this property and you're going to rent it, how's the rental market? If you're there's going to be rent control, how we get through that.
Right.
So there's lots to navigate through that, and I think that's important to find out, because that was a big thing. Maybe 15, 20 years ago, everyone was jumping into the real estate game.
Right.
And then the other thing is, at my age, lots of friends are losing their spouse, and if you were to advise a spouse that their partner has died, what do you say the first thing that they should do?
Well, basically, it's kind of starting from square one with the financial planning process. So you take a look at what were the assets that the spouse had. Did they have a pension? What's their Social Security, right? So what is that bringing to the table? And then you combine it with what you have, and then you reevaluate your situation, reevaluate your budgets, right? Because that can change, and then develop a strategy from there and determine here's what your needs are, and then finding out, well, what's the best vehicles to fill those needs.
Okay. And obviously, before anything, get a will, maybe?
Yeah,
We know a good attorney.
Yeah.
Get a will.
Wills, if you trusts, depending if you need them, you always want to have a power of attorney, a healthcare proxy, so people that can step in to help you do things when you're not able to.
And then I want to ask you one more question because they're only saying 4 minutes left, which all right, this will be quick. One financial, a financial mistake you see people make that they should try to avoid. There's probably multiple. We talk credit cards and all that. But
Right. I think the biggest, maybe more philosophical thought is to get away from the thought of all or nothing, right? Like, do I get in the market? Do I not? Do I put everything in one particular investment or not? It's really, again, taking a step back and evaluating all of your options and finding what couple ideas that work and put them together. So I think that's the biggest mistake people make, is thinking all or nothing, and then that becomes paralyzing because making that all or nothing decision becomes too big. And then what do? They hesitate, and then they don't do anything. And then we talk about the cost of waiting.
Yep.
That's what kicks in.
I have one question before the last one. AI. What are your thoughts on AI?
In terms of?
Using it for the market predictions and things like that.
I'd say for predictions, potentially, but I don't use AI at all. Like, I rely on the companies that I use for investments. I have them come in and I sit with them and talk to them about what's going on out there, what are your recommendations, that type of thing. So that would be my big. The other thing about AI is AI does not have emotion, right? And working with people, it's about finances are emotional. So developing plans that not only are financially sound, but can help the client sleep at night.
And so they're saying 2 minutes. So I'm going to ask this question, and I'm not sure it's simple, but one simple piece of financial advice that everyone watching today can apply. I don't know.
I mean, kind of all the things we talked about. So I guess the one first thing would be figure out, think about your goals, develop a plan for that, and then do one thing towards that goal. Whether it's setting up a monthly savings plan or whatever it is, do the one thing.
Do the one thing.
And then 6 months later, if you have the ability to do another, and then again, build, compound.
In 1 minute, so you can have another question.
All right.
What should you do when you see, and George is a big one for this, the market went up, the market went down, and I say, we do seesaw with our conversation.
Yep.
You're in a panic, the market went down, then you say, oh, don't worry, it went up. And he throws a figure at me, and I think, I don't know what that means. Advice for that, don't watch it.
Right. So I don't say don't watch it, but you have to have a longer term perspective. So the dollars that are in a portfolio are designed for a point in time. And if that point in time is down the road, you can withstand the fluctuations, right? If it's short term, you should not be in the market anyway.
Right.
And the overall trend of the market is up and down, but it's long term, it's always been up. So you just have to trust. Not blindly trust, but trust.
It's saying wrap up, but real quick, have you ever seen a market like the one we're in right now? Was like, people always refer back to 1982, it was like this. Anything, or are we in, so everything goes
it always goes in cycles. It's been surprisingly resilient in the times that we have. When I do portfolio announcements, I'm seeing announcement, portfolio evaluations, even with all the volatility, we're in a much better position than we thought we would be. So it's been very comforting.
All right, so comforting, and with that, we have to wrap up. Thank you so much,
My
Paul
pleasure.
Henry,
This has been
Village Management Wealth in Auburndale Square with Auburndale, I'm going to say Auburndale Co-op, which it's
the
not
Village
anymore,
Bank.
Village Bank.
Yes.
Thanks for coming.
My pleasure. This has been great. A lot of fun. Awesome. Thank you.
Okay.